Emma, you're quiet again, I said, setting my coffee on the table. You've been quiet all week. She didn't look up from her phone. Just tired, Ryan. Tired of what? Me or life? Her fingers froze mid-scroll. Don't start. I'm not starting, I said softly. I'm just trying to talk to you. Like we used to, she sighed. We talk every day, not like before. Before you'd tell me how your day went, what annoyed you, what made you laugh. Now it's all, I'm fine. Maybe there's nothing to tell. That hurt more than I wanted to admit. I leaned back, staring at her face, the one I used to know like my own reflection. Even her eyes looked different now, tired, far away. Remember when we'd stay up until 2 arguing about movies? I asked. You'd always pick the sad ones. I still do, she muttered. Then why don't you invite me anymore? Ryan, she said quietly, setting her phone down. Not everything has to mean something. Except it does, I whispered. Everything means something when you love someone. She looked at me then, finally, but her eyes were unreadable like glass. Love changes, she said. Changes or fades? Maybe both. Her answer hit like cold water. I forced a laugh, but it came out shaky. That's comforting, she rubbed her temples. Can we not do this right now? I'm exhausted. Then when? You've been exhausted for months. Work is insane, my head's a mess, and you keep pushing. It's too much. I'm pushing because I care, I said. I'm fighting for us, Emma. Maybe you're fighting for something that's already gone. Silence fell so thick I could hear the ticking clock. I felt something inside me collapse. Say that again, I murmured. She bit her lip. Love just fades sometimes, Ryan. I laughed once, low and hollow. That's convenient. Don't make me the villain. I'm not, I said. I just want to know when it started fading. Was it after my promotion? After your new friends? Or after you stopped looking at me when I said I loved you? She stood, grabbing her coat. You're twisting this. No, I said, standing too. I'm trying to untangle it. Ryan, please! Her voice cracked for the first time that night, and somehow that made it worse. I wanted her to fight, to care, to shout, anything but this quiet detachment. I took a step closer. Do you even want this anymore? Her silence was my answer. You used to tell me I was your home, I said, voice breaking. Now it feels like I'm just furniture you're tired of seeing. Stop, she whispered. I exhaled sharply. Tell me you still love me, just once. Even if it's a lie, she looked at the floor. I can't. The world tilted. For a moment I couldn't breathe. My throat tightened, but no words came out. I turned away before she could see my eyes. She took her purse and walked to the door. I'm sorry. Don't be, I said flatly. You can't help what fades. The door clicked shut. I sank onto the couch, staring at the dent her body used to make beside me. The TV was still on, playing some romantic comedy where the couple made up before the credits. I laughed bitterly. Lucky them, I muttered. My phone buzzed, a message from Jason. You okay, man? I typed, yeah, just a fight. Nothing new, then deleted it. Wrote instead, she said love fades. He replied, you buying that? I stared at the screen for a long time before typing, I don't know. But I did know. Something inside me whispered the truth. I'd already lost her. Not tonight. Not from a fight. But slowly, over weeks and months, while I was too busy believing we were unbreakable. I leaned back, closing my eyes, hearing her voice again. Calm, distant, final. Love just fades sometimes, Ryan, I whispered into the empty room. Then maybe I'll learn how to fade too. I stared at my phone long after Emma left. Our pictures, beach sunsets, birthdays, her sleepy smile in my old t-shirt felt like ghosts mocking me. I wanted to delete them, but my thumb hesitated over every memory. Love just fades, I whispered to myself. What a beautiful lie. The next morning she texted, good morning, sunshine. My chest tightened. Sunshine. She hadn't called me that in months. When she arrived at my place that evening, she carried coffee and smiled like nothing happened. Truce? She asked. Was there a war? I said. She laughed a little too easily. I was stressed, Ryan. I didn't mean to sound cold. You sounded like someone who rehearsed a breakup. Her smile faltered. Do you really want to keep fighting? No, I said quietly. I want the truth. She sat beside me close enough for our knees to touch. You're overthinking again. Am I? Yes, we had one bad night. You act like it's the end of the world. Because it felt like it, I said. She brushed her hair back and sighed. Can we just move on? I wanted to. God, I wanted to. We talked about random things, work, traffic, Netflix. She laughed at her phone once, twice, then again. What's funny? I asked. Nothing. Just a meme. From who? A colleague, Sophie. Sophie Turner? She nodded quickly. Yeah, she's hilarious. Something in her tone made me pause. Too smooth. Too quick. Never heard of her, I said. You wouldn't. She joined last month. I studied her face. She didn't blink, my gut twisted. I forced a smile. She must be really funny. She is, Emma said, locking her phone. You're acting jealous. I'm curious, I replied. That's not jealousy. She leaned forward. Then stop reading into everything. You make me feel like I'm being watched. Maybe you are, I said before I could stop myself. Her eyes narrowed. That's not healthy, Ryan. Neither is pretending everything's fine. The silence that followed was sharp. She picked up her coffee, took a slow sip, then said softly, I'm trying. I wanted to believe her. Then show me. I just did, she said. I came back. I almost laughed. Coming back isn't the same as staying. She looked away. You really don't trust me, do you? Do you trust me enough to tell me what's actually going on? Nothing's going on. Then why do I feel like you're somewhere else every time you're here? She stood. Because you keep pushing me away with these accusations. I'm asking questions, not throwing punches. Sometimes they feel the same, she said, grabbing her purse. Emma. She turned. You want reassurance every minute, but that's not love, Ryan, that's fear. I stared at her. You're right. I'm afraid. Afraid of losing someone who's already halfway gone? Her expression softened for a second, then hardened again. I'll call you tomorrow. The door closed before I could answer. I sank onto the couch. My phone buzzed. It was my mom. Hi, sweetheart, she said. You sound tired. I am. Emma again? Yeah. What happened now? She said love fades. My mother sighed. That's what people say when they don't want to admit something else. Like what? Like guilt. I rubbed my eyes. Maybe I'm just imagining things. Ryan, she said gently, your gut's never been wrong. Don't ignore it just because you're scared to be right. Her words hit deep. You think she's lying? I think you already know she is. I leaned my head back, staring at the ceiling. She says there's this colleague, Sophie Turner. Makes her laugh. Then meet her, Mom said simply. How? Asked to join them sometime. People with nothing to hide won't mind. I smiled bitterly. You should be a detective. I'm a mother, she said. Same thing, but with more guilt trips. That made me laugh for the first time all night. Thanks, Mom. Just promise me one thing, she said. What? Don't lose your kindness because someone else lost theirs. After the call, I stared at the empty space on the couch where Emma had been. The warmth was gone again, like it had never existed. I scrolled through my messages, old ones where she wrote, You're my forever. Now her last message read, Good night. Sunshine, I whispered. Good night, stranger. Then I locked my phone, and for the first time, I didn't feel like replying. When Emma left that night, she was in a hurry. I'll text you when I get home, she'd said, grabbing her jacket and keys. The door closed, leaving behind the faint smell of her perfume and something else. Her phone. It buzzed once on the coffee table. I stared at it like it was alive. My heart started pounding. Don't, I told myself. Just wait until she calls, but curiosity is cruel. It whispers louder than reason. Another buzz. A message preview flashed. Daniel, my throat went dry. Daniel, I knew that name. Her ex. The one she said was just a college thing. The phone glowed again. Another message. I reached for it, hesitating just inches away. My reflection in the black screen looked desperate. I muttered, just one look. My fingers unlocked the screen before I could change my mind. No password. My stomach twisted. She trusted me enough not to lock it, or maybe she thought I'd never check. The chat was open. Daniel, you looked stunning today. Emma, you always say that. Daniel, because it's true. He still has no idea? Emma, he never notices a thing. The words blurred. I scrolled up, Weeks of messages, late nights, voice notes, hearts. Daniel. Remember that weekend in June? Emma. How could I forget? I think about it every time it rains. My hands shook so badly I nearly dropped the phone. Every I miss you cut deeper than the last. I whispered, you said love fades. But it didn't fade, did it? It shifted. My phone buzzed. It was Jason calling. I answered, voice unsteady. Hey, man, he said. You sound weird. I'm fine. You're lying. What happened? She left her phone. And? I wish I hadn't looked. A pause. Ryan, what did you find? Daniel Reeves. Her ex? Yeah. Damn. I read everything, Jason. Weeks of it. She said I never noticed. She's right, Jason exhaled. You gonna confront her? I don't know. My hands are still shaking. Delete the chat, man. Pretend you didn't see it. I can't. Once you see the truth, you can't unsee it. He stayed silent. I laughed bitterly. You remember when I said I trusted her? Yeah, I trusted her so much that I ignored every sign, every late reply, every fake smile. She didn't even need to hide. It was right in front of me, Jason muttered. People get bored. They want excitement. She wanted him, I said. Not excitement, him. Another message appeared on her screen. Daniel, miss you already. Wish I could hold you instead of pretending at the office tomorrow. Emma, stop, someone might see. Daniel, you love it. I almost laughed, but it came out as a broken breath. She's been lying in my bed, texting him goodnight. Jason's voice softened. Don't do anything stupid. What's left to do? Talk to her when you're calm. Calm? I said. She burned 5 years down to ashes, and I'm supposed to be calm? He sighed. Then walk away. Don't let her drag you into her mess. I thought we were building a future, I said quietly. Turns out I was building alone. Ryan, I gotta go. I ended the call. The apartment felt heavier now. The hum of the fridge, the clock ticking, it all sounded cruelly normal. I stared at the phone, at the little hearts next to his name. I opened our own chat, mine and hers. The last message from me read, miss you. Drive safe. Her reply, always do. I whispered, yeah, I bet you do. The screen dimmed. My reflection stared back, eyes red, jaw tight. I wanted to throw it across the room, but I couldn't. Instead, I placed it back where she'd left it, perfectly centered on the table. If she asked later, I'd say nothing. I'd let her believe her secret was safe. I wanted to see how long she could lie while thinking I was blind. When the door finally opened again, I didn't move. Hey, she said casually, kicking off her shoes. Sorry, I forgot my phone. I nodded, voice calm. Yeah, it's right there. She smiled. Thanks, babe. I smiled back. Of course. She picked it up, checked something quickly, and relaxed. Everything okay? I asked. Yeah, just work stuff. Good, I said. Wouldn't want you to miss anything important. She kissed my cheek, unaware that everything inside me had already died. When she left again, I whispered to the empty room, you didn't lose me, Emma, you traded me. And I finally understood what fading love really looked like. I didn't sleep. Every tick of the clock sounded like her messages echoing in my head. When she walked in the next morning, smiling like nothing had happened, something inside me cracked. Morning, she said softly, setting her bag down. I didn't answer. My voice felt trapped in my chest. She frowned. Ryan? What's wrong? I finally looked up. How long? Her eyes blinked fast. What? I stood, the question leaving my throat like smoke. How long, Emma? Her lips parted, but no sound came out. Then she whispered, You looked at my phone. I did. Her shoulders slumped. Ryan, it wasn't supposed to. Don't, I snapped. Just tell me how long. Tears gathered instantly. It wasn't serious. Serious? I laughed bitterly. You told him you missed the way he held you. You told him I never noticed a thing. How long? She pressed her hands to her face. Since July, my stomach dropped. 3 months. It wasn't supposed to mean anything, she said again, voice trembling. Daniel and I, we just talked. It got out of hand. Talked? I stepped closer. You sent him pictures. You called him at midnight. You said you loved him once. That's not talking, Emma. That's cheating. She shook her head fast.
I didn't mean to hurt you, but you did. I was lonely, Ryan.
You were always working, always distant. I tried to reach you. Stop blaming me for your choices, I interrupted. My chest burned. You could have told me you weren't happy. I was scared. Of what? Honesty? Her tears fell freely now, streaking down her cheeks. I didn't plan this. No, I said coldly. You just didn't plan on getting caught, she winced. Please don't say that. Then what should I say? That it's fine? That I understand? She took a step toward me. Ryan, please don't do this. We can fix it. I made a mistake. I moved back. Don't touch me. Ryan, you lied every night, Emma. You smiled at me while texting him. You said you loved me and then laughed about it with him. That's not a mistake. It's a choice. She shook her head violently. It wasn't like that. Then tell me what it was like. I shouted. Tell me how betrayal feels from your side. She covered her mouth, sobbing. I didn't want to lose you. You already did. The silence that followed was suffocating. My heart pounded in my ears. I walked past her, grabbed my phone, and threw it onto the couch. I can't even look at you right now. She flinched, but didn't move. I stared at her. Really stared. The girl I'd loved, trusted, defended. All I saw now was someone I didn't know. Who are you? She whispered. I'm still me. No, I said quietly. The woman I loved wouldn't have done this. She took another step closer. Ryan, please. Let me explain. There's nothing left to explain. Don't walk away, she begged. We can start over. Start over? I laughed bitterly. You buried us, Emma. You can't rebuild from ashes. She covered her mouth again, crying harder. I don't want to lose everything. You already lost me. For a moment, she just stood there, breathing in shallow gasps. What are you going to do? I turned toward the bedroom. I'm packing your things, her eyes widened. No, yes, she didn't follow. Didn't stop me. I opened drawers, pulled clothes from hangers, shoved them into her suitcase. Each sound felt like a nail sealing a coffin. She stood by the doorway, whispering through her tears. Please, Ryan, don't end it like this. How else should it end? I asked. With another lie? She shook her head slowly. I still love you. Then you should have protected me, I said. You don't destroy what you love. When the suitcase was full, I zipped it and pushed it toward the door. She looked at it, then at me. You really mean it? I nodded. Yeah, I mean it. She didn't move. Didn't fight. Didn't even apologize again. That hurt more than anything else. I said quietly, You could have stopped me. You didn't, her voice cracked. Because maybe I deserve it. I didn't answer. I just watched her walk to the door, pick up the suitcase, and leave. The door clicked shut. The silence that followed was colder than her betrayal. I stared at my reflection in the mirror across the room, eyes hollow, jaw trembling. The man staring back wasn't heartbroken anymore. He was empty, and for the first time, I wasn't sure which one of us was real. The days blurred into one long ache. Mornings felt the same as nights, quiet, heavy, and colorless. I'd wake, stare at the ceiling, and pretend the world hadn't shifted. Jason called again. You alive, man? Barely, I muttered. You sound like hell. Come out for a drink. I'm good. That's what people say before falling apart, he sighed. Ryan, you can't stay locked up forever. I just need time. He hesitated. Time doesn't fix what people break. Then maybe I'm unfixable. Bullshit. You just don't want to feel. He wasn't wrong. Feeling had become exhausting. I hung up and sat in silence until the room hummed with it. Every noise, the fridge, the clock, my breath, mocked me. At work, I stared at my screen, lines of code blurring into static. Natalie, the new developer, leaned over. You've been on that same function for an hour. I'm refining it. She raised an eyebrow. Refining or zoning out? Maybe both. You want coffee? Might help. I almost said no, but her tone carried no pity, just kindness. Yeah, sure. When she handed me the cup, she smiled faintly. You look like someone who's been fighting ghosts. I guess I lost. Her smile faded. Who said it's over? I didn't answer. I didn't know. Later, when the office emptied, I sat staring at the blinking cursor. My phone buzzed. I almost ignored it until I saw the name. Daniel Reeves. My stomach turned. I opened it. She told me everything. She said you were too weak to fight back. The words burned. I read them again and again. My pulse spiked, breath shallow. Weak. That single word echoed louder than her goodbye. I typed fast, "What do you want?" then deleted it. He wanted a reaction. I wouldn't give him that. Not yet. Instead, I called Jason. He picked up instantly. Finally. "You miss me already?" Daniel texted me. "What?" He said Emma told him I was too weak to fight back. Jason cursed under his breath. "That piece of, I'm not angry," I lied. "Yeah, and I'm a priest." "I'm serious," I said quietly. I'm done crying. Done begging. I'm just clear. Clear about what? That this isn't over. "Ryan, don't do anything stupid." I almost laughed. "Depends on your definition." "Revenge doesn't fix pain, man. Neither does silence." He exhaled sharply. "You need to talk to someone." I just did. Not me. Like a therapist. Or your mom. My mom thinks I'm fine. Yeah, because you lie to her. I rubbed my eyes. She doesn't need to know. She deserves to, he said softly. She loves you, Ryan. I said nothing. He was right, but I couldn't stand the thought of hearing pity in her voice. After he hung up, I sat in the dark again. My apartment felt smaller, like the walls were folding in. My phone buzzed once more. This time it was Mom. "Hi, sweetheart. Haven't heard from you. How's work?" I stared at the message. My thumb hovered over the keyboard. "I'm good, Mom, just busy. A lie, again," she replied instantly. "You don't sound fine." I can always tell, you know. Tears pressed behind my eyes, but I forced them down. "I'm okay, Mom, I promise." She sent a heart emoji, the kind of simple love that used to make everything feel safe. Now it just made me feel small. The apartment went silent again, except for the sound of my own heartbeat. I walked to the mirror. My reflection stared back, unshaven, eyes hollow. I whispered, "Weak?" The word tasted poisonous. I opened my laptop, fingers hovering over the keyboard, not for work, but for something else. I typed Daniel's name into search. His face appeared, smiling, smug, untouched. My hands clenched. I whispered to the screen, "You think I won't fight back?" I closed the lid slowly. Not tonight. Not impulsively. I needed to be careful, cold, strategic. I sat on the couch, breathing steady for the first time in weeks. The ache was still there, but different now, harder, sharper, controlled. Natalie's words replayed in my mind. "Who said it's over?" She was right. It wasn't. Maybe silence had its limits, and maybe mine had just snapped. For days, I didn't respond to Daniel's message. I just watched, waited, and thought. Revenge wasn't supposed to be fire, it had to be ice. The idea came while scrolling through old photos of Emma. Her smile looked different now, staged. Every memory was a lie wrapped in soft light. I opened my laptop, hands steady for once. "Let's see what truth looks like when it's exposed," I whispered. I searched through her old emails, shared cloud accounts, synced photos. Every click revealed another scar I didn't know existed. Screenshots of messages, call logs at midnight, deleted pictures that weren't deleted. Then one file stopped me. A photo of Daniel with another woman, laughing, arms around each other. My chest tightened. So he's cheating too, I zoomed in. Her name tag read Clara Hudson. I hesitated, then searched her online. Her profile came up instantly, smiling, happy, clueless. My fingers hovered over the message box. "Don't," I muttered. "This isn't you." But the words typed themselves. "Hi, Clara, you don't know me. My name's Ryan Carter. I think we need to talk about Daniel Reeves." I stared at the blinking cursor. Seconds felt like minutes. Then ding. "What about him?" My pulse quickened. "He's been seeing someone behind your back." "You're lying." "I wish I was." "Prove it." I sent the screenshots. Her reply came slower this time. "Emma Brooks. That's your girlfriend?" "Was. He said she was just an old friend." "He said a lot of things, I bet." She went silent. 10 minutes later, my phone buzzed again. "Can I call you?" When I answered, her voice shook. "How long have they been doing this?" "Months, maybe longer." She exhaled hard. "He told me he was busy with work." God, I'm such an idiot. "No," I said quietly. "We both trusted the wrong people." "Do you hate them?" I paused. "I did. Now, I think I just want them to see what they've done," she sniffled. "I want that too." Silence stretched between us, two strangers connected by betrayal. Clara, I said carefully. What if we don't just confront them? What if we show everyone who they really are? She hesitated. You mean, expose them? Yes, they built their lives on lies. Maybe it's time those lies crashed down. Her voice hardened. I have screenshots too. He texted her while we were at dinner last week. I can match timelines with yours. Perfect, I said. Let's build the truth together. We spent hours gathering proof, timestamps, messages, photos. Each piece felt like reclaiming a part of myself. At one point, she sighed. You know what hurts most? I thought I was special. I thought love was forever, I admitted. Turns out, forever has an expiration date. She laughed bitterly. Guess we're both recycling heartbreak. Maybe, I said, but at least now we know what kind of people they are. Ryan, she said softly, what happens when this is done? I looked at the glowing monitor. I don't know. Maybe peace, maybe nothing. We scheduled everything, the timing, the drops, the social posts. Her calm precision amazed me. She wasn't just hurt. She was determined. When it was all ready, I asked, Are you sure? She replied, I've never been surer. That night, I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, replaying her words. He told me he was busy with work. Lies, simple, practiced, deadly. I checked my phone. Clara had sent the final message. Ready when you are, I typed back, tomorrow. 9 a.m. Before sleeping, I whispered, Truth doesn't need fire. It burns on its own. The next morning, I watched from my desk as everything unfolded. Posts went live. Screenshots spread. Comments exploded. Their names trended within hours. Jason called. Ryan, what did you do? Just told the truth. Man, this is blowing up. People are furious. Good, he paused. You sound calm. Too calm. I've been calm for a long time, I said. After the call, I stared at the chaos I'd created. Justice, maybe. Closure, maybe not, Clara texted again. They're denying everything. Of course they are. Truth hurts louder than lies. You okay? I thought for a moment. I don't know. But I don't feel weak anymore. I set the phone down and leaned back, listening to the quiet hum of the world spinning on. Revenge hadn't healed me, but for the first time, I could breathe again. The internet doesn't sleep. By morning, the screenshots were everywhere. Group chats, office gossip threads, even random forums. I didn't need to spread it further. Truth had its own wings, Jason called first. Dude, you're trending. I didn't post it, I said flatly. Doesn't matter. Everyone thinks you did. Emma's office is a circus. Daniel's uncle is her boss. You know what that means? I rubbed my forehead. She's done. Exactly. He fired her this morning. I stayed silent. Jason sighed. You got what you wanted, man. Karma showed up, did it? Ryan, she cheated, lied, and made you look like a fool. This is justice. Then why doesn't it feel like it? He paused. Because you still care. Maybe, I said quietly. Maybe I just hate what I had to become. Later, I sat in my car outside her apartment. I didn't plan to be there, it just happened. The building looked the same, but I didn't. She came out a few minutes later, hoodie pulled tight, face pale. Her phone kept ringing. She ignored it. When she saw me, she froze. For a moment, neither of us moved. Then she walked closer, voice trembling. You did this, didn't you? I stared at her. No, Emma, you did. Her eyes filled instantly. Ryan, please. I never meant for it to go that far. Then why did it? I don't know, she said, shaking. It just happened, I laughed bitterly. That's what people say when they want to sound innocent. She wiped her face. You think I'm not paying for it? I lost everything, my job, my friends, my reputation. You lost them the moment you lied. She looked down. You were supposed to love me, not destroy me. I did love you, I said. You destroyed us long before I said a word. She stepped closer. If you wanted revenge, you got it. Are you happy now? I met her eyes. No, just empty. She flinched like the word itself hurt. I was wrong, okay? Daniel meant nothing. Then why did you text him every night? Why tell him I was too weak to fight back? Her lips trembled. Because I hated how much you made me feel guilty. You were too kind, too trusting. I couldn't live up to it. So you broke me instead? Tears streaked her cheeks. I didn't think you'd find out. I let out a bitter laugh. You didn't think at all. Her voice dropped to a whisper. Do you hate me? I stared at the streetlights flickering above us. I don't even know what I feel anymore. She reached for my hand, but I stepped back. The gesture used to mean everything. Now it meant nothing. I wish I could take it back, she said softly. I wish I could believe you. Her breath hitched. Ryan, please. Say something, anything. I took a long breath. You told me love fades, remember? You were right. It did. She closed her eyes, shoulders trembling. I deserve this, don't I? I didn't answer. She whispered. You're cruel. No, I said quietly. Just honest, her voice cracked. You used to look at me like I was your whole world. Yeah, I said, eyes burning. Now I just see what's left of it. She covered her face and sobbed. People on the sidewalk slowed down, watching the scene unfold. I turned away before anyone could see mine. Jason called again as I got back into my car. You okay? Define okay. She tried to talk to you, didn't she? Yeah. What did you say? The truth. And? I don't feel better. He was silent for a moment. Revenge doesn't cure heartbreak, man. It just gives it a different name. Then what does? Time, maybe. Or someone new. Someone like Clara? I asked quietly. Maybe, he said. She's been through the same hell. I drove off, headlights cutting through the dark. The city lights blurred, just like the memories I'd been trying to erase. As I stopped at a red light, I glanced at the reflection in my rearview mirror. My face looked calm, but my eyes, they looked like hers. Haunted. For the first time, I realized the truth had done more than expose them. It had stripped me too, of anger, of love, of everything I used to be. The mask was gone, and maybe, just maybe, that was the point. The nights were quieter now, but silence had its own voice. It spoke in echoes, her laughter, her scent, her name. I thought time would dull it. It didn't. Natalie noticed before I said a word. You're somewhere else again, she murmured, stirring her coffee. I'm fine, I lied. She smiled faintly. You always say that when you're not. I stared at the steam rising between us. I just still hear her sometimes. Emma? Yeah, Natalie leaned forward. What do you hear? Her laugh. It used to sound like home. Now it just feels like a ghost. She nodded slowly. Ghosts don't haunt places, Ryan. They haunt hearts. I sighed. Then minds crowded. For a moment, neither of us spoke. The cafe's hum filled the silence. Soft music, clinking cups, whispers of people who hadn't been broken. I thought exposing her would help, I said finally. It didn't. Because truth isn't revenge, she said. It's release. You haven't released it yet. How do you? You stopped trying to understand why she hurt you. I met her eyes. You make it sound easy. It's not, she said softly. I still wake up some nights thinking my ex is next to me. Then I remember he's gone and I have to choose peace all over again. Every day, every minute. I looked at her hands, how steady they were. You make peace sound like a habit. It is, she said. You just haven't practiced enough, I laughed quietly. Maybe I've been practicing pain instead. Then you're already halfway there. Her words settled in my chest. I didn't know what to say, so I didn't. After a while, she broke the silence. Do you still love her? I don't know, I admitted. I don't hate Emma anymore. I just hate the part of me that still remembers her. Natalie smiled gently. That's how healing begins. Something in me cracked, not painfully, but like light finding its way through. I whispered, Do you really believe that? I wouldn't still be standing if I didn't. I looked down at my cup. You talk like someone who's already healed. I talk like someone who's still learning, she said. There's no finish line, I smiled faintly. That's disappointing. It's honest, she said, grinning. We left the cafe as the evening painted the sky gold. She walked beside me, not too close, not too far, just enough for her presence to feel steady. Do you ever miss him? I asked. All the time, she said. But missing someone doesn't mean I want them back. It just means I remember who I was when I loved them. That's beautiful, I said quietly. It's human, she replied. We reached my car, and I hesitated before unlocking it. You think I'll ever stop remembering? No, she said. But one day the memories will stop hurting. I nodded slowly. And what happens then? You'll look back and realize you survived. Her calmness unnerved me. You really think I deserve to heal? Of course, she said. You loved, you lost. You're still trying. That's strength, Ryan, I exhaled shakily. Sometimes it feels like weakness. Only because you confuse feeling with failing, she said softly. You're allowed to still hurt, even after everything. Especially after everything. Her eyes met mine, and for the first time in months, I didn't look away. She smiled. You don't have to rush it. Healing doesn't mean forgetting Emma. It means remembering yourself. I felt something shift inside me. Small, fragile, real. Maybe I'm ready to try, I said. That's enough for tonight, she whispered. We stood there, silence wrapping around us like understanding. For once, it didn't feel heavy. As I drove home later, I replayed her words, remembering yourself. At a red light, I caught my reflection in the mirror. The man staring back didn't look like the one Emma broke. He looked tired, yes, but alive. When I reached home, I didn't open old messages. I didn't scroll through pictures. I just sat, breathing. Her voice was still there in the background, soft and fading. But Natalie's words were louder. That's how healing begins. And for the first time, I believed her. Rain hammered against the windows like it was trying to break in. I sat on the couch, half listening to the rhythm, half lost in thought. The storm outside felt familiar, loud, restless, heavy. Then, over the sound of thunder, came a knock, once, twice, then again, urgent. I hesitated before opening the door. She stood there. Emma. Soaked through. Trembling, mascara streaking down her face like ink on wet paper. Ryan. Her voice cracked. Please. I didn't know where else to go. For a moment, I couldn't speak. I just stared, watching rain drip from her hair onto the floor I'd once watched her dance on. You shouldn't be here, I said finally. I know, she whispered, but I had to see you. Why? Her lips quivered. Because I lost everything, I exhaled slowly. You mean him? She nodded, tears mixing with rain. Daniel's gone. His uncle fired me. My friend stopped talking to me. Everyone knows. Actions have consequences, I said quietly. I know, she said again, voice trembling. But you don't understand. He lied to me. He said he loved me. He said leaving you was the right thing. I clenched my jaw. And you believed him, she looked away. I wanted to. I thought he was different. Different? I laughed bitterly. He's the same man you once told me you'd never go back to. I was stupid, she whispered. I ruined everything. The words hung between us, heavy as the rain. I folded my arms. What do you want from me, Emma? Just to talk, she said. To explain. There's nothing to explain. There is, she said sharply. You think I didn't regret it? Every night, Ryan, every single night I wished I'd stayed. Then why didn't you? She swallowed hard. Because I was afraid. Afraid of what? Of being with someone who saw through me, she said softly. You loved me too honestly. Daniel made it easy to forget who I was. I looked at her, this woman who'd once been my whole world, and felt nothing but exhaustion. You don't get to say that now, I said. Not after everything. I'm not asking for forgiveness, she murmured. I just wanted you to know I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't rebuild trust, I said. It doesn't erase what you did. I know, she whispered. But I can't stop thinking about you. You should, I said. You made your choice, she stepped closer, voice shaking. Can we just start over? Please, the words froze me. Start over. I'd imagined them once, dreamed of hearing them. But now they sounded hollow. No, I said. She blinked. What? No, Emma. My voice was steady now, colder than I expected. I already did. Without you. Her mouth opened like she wanted to argue, but no words came out. Rain spilled through the doorway, pooling around her feet. I loved you, she whispered. Even when I left. Then you loved the idea of me, I said. Not me, her shoulders shook. I don't know who I am anymore. Maybe that's the problem, I said quietly. You keep trying to find yourself in other people, Ryan. I stepped back. You should go, her eyes glistened. Please don't do this. I'm not doing anything, I said. I'm just not saving you this time. Silence swallowed us both. The only sound left was the rain, steady, relentless. She looked at me one last time. You changed, I nodded. I had to, Her lips trembled. You really won't forgive me? I already did, I said softly. That's why I can close this door. She stared, confusion flickering across her face. You're serious? I am. I waited a moment, hoping she'd understand, hoping she'd walk away before I lost the strength to hold my ground. Finally, she turned. Goodbye, Ryan. Goodbye, Emma. I closed the door. The sound echoed through the house, sharp and final. I leaned against it, eyes closed, breathing in the quiet that followed. No shouting, no pleading, just stillness. Outside, the storm began to fade. The rain softened like it was tired too. I walked to the window, watching her silhouette disappear into the night. For the first time, I didn't feel anger or sorrow. Just release. The storm had passed. The lake was quieter than I remembered. A thin fog drifted across the surface, silver in the early morning light. I stood on the same dock where Emma once laughed, her hand laced with mine, both of us barefoot and invincible. Now it was just me and the old phone in my hand. Nostalgic, huh? Natalie's voice came from behind me, soft but steady. I turned slightly, smiling faintly. You could say that. She walked closer, her coat brushing mine.
You sure about this?
I looked down at the phone, cracked, scarred, still heavy with ghosts. Yeah, it's time, she nodded, crossing her arms. You've been carrying that thing for a year. I know, I said. It's weird, isn't it? How something that used to connect you to someone can end up just chaining you to them. Natalie tilted her head, then let it go. I hesitated. Part of me still wants to read those messages again. Just once, to remind myself it was real. Was it? She asked quietly. I looked at her, then at the water. At the time, yes. But love can be real and still wrong, she smiled sadly. That's a hard truth. Yeah. I exhaled, watching my breath fade into the cold air. When she left, I thought the pain would never end. I thought I'd burn forever. Natalie stepped beside me. And now? Now, I said slowly. I think the fire burned away what needed to die. She nodded, her gaze soft. That's how new things grow. I smiled faintly. You sound like my mom. She sounds wise, Natalie said, smirking. She is. She told me once, pain's not punishment, it's pruning. Natalie chuckled. I like that. So did I said, my voice low. Eventually, the wind brushed across the lake, rippling the reflection of the trees. I crouched, holding the phone above the water. This thing, I said, staring at it, used to be everything. Pictures, messages, proof of who I was with her. I used to check it like my life depended on it. Natalie watched quietly. And now it's just glass and metal. Exactly. I turned it over once, the cracked screen glinting like a scar. Funny how much weight memories carry until you decide to drop them. Then drop it, she whispered. I took a slow breath and let it fall. The splash was small, but the sound echoed through me like thunder. I watched the circles widen, then fade. Feels lighter already, I said softly. Natalie smiled. That's how healing sneaks in quietly. I straightened, hands in my pockets. You know, I used to come here after work, before all of it fell apart. I'd sit right there and text her for hours. Now I don't even remember what we talked about. Maybe that's a good thing, she said. Maybe, I agreed. It means the memories stopped owning me. We walked along the dock, our footsteps echoing on the wood. The silence between us wasn't empty, it was peaceful. She glanced at me. Do you ever miss her? I thought about it. Not her, I said finally. I miss who I was when I still believed love was simple. Natalie smiled faintly. You're still that guy, just wiser. Wiser and a little more broken. Broken things can still shine, she said softly. I looked at her, the sunlight catching in her hair. You always know what to say. I just listen, she replied. You do the hard part. We reached the end of the dock again. I looked out at the lake, the ripples long gone, the surface calm. Funny, I said. I used to think love faded. Now I think it just changes shape. Natalie's voice was barely above a whisper. Into what? Into something quieter, I said. Something that doesn't burn, just warms. She smiled. That sounds like peace? It is, I said. For the first time in a long while. A bird soared over the lake, cutting through the mist. I followed its path until it vanished into the light. Natalie slipped her hand into mine. So what now? I squeezed gently. Now I live. Not to forget, but to grow. She leaned her head on my shoulder. Then that's a good start. I nodded, staring at the calm water. Yeah, the fire's done its job. The wind carried the scent of rain and pine. I closed my eyes and breathed deeply. For the first time, the air didn't taste like loss. It tasted like beginning.